What's going on, fishy friends? Rich here, Rich's Fishes, and this week's video comes with a money-back guarantee. Alright guys, I figured I'd take a little walk around, see what's up in the fish room, take a look over here at the juvenile discus. These guys are really growing out nice suddenly. I'm loving these patterns. They're putting on a real nice size, real nice shape is starting to develop. It's starting to round out and lose that triangle shape. All except for that one little guy, the runt of the litter over here. I don't know if anybody could chime in, but it always seems to me that anytime you have a group of discus, or maybe any group of fish for that matter, one fish, I mean obviously animals, including humans, all grow at different rates and everything like that. But these guys are all in the same tank, so they all get the same amount of food available to them. They all get the same maintenance schedules. They all are in the same exact water conditions and everything like that. So you would think, ideally, I mean, they were all born at the same time as part of the same group, theoretically. So you would think they would all grow at similar rates. But you could tell that guy there is not nearly as big as the rest. His shape isn't quite as good as the rest. I know there's some theories out there that certain fish, well, certain discus, you know, the leader of the pack, so to say, will secrete hormones that sort of force the stunting of other fish. I'm not sure if that's ever been scientifically proven, if that's all just a theory and speculation, or if there is actually a biological reasoning or a biological explanation, I suppose, might be a better way to term it, as to why and how that exactly happens. I wish I could say for sure. I'm trying to think back now when exactly I got these guys. I might have had these guys for close to a year. They're probably in that roughly 4 to 6 inch range. In theory, they got a lot of growing left to do. And I'm hopeful that they can eventually turn out being at least as big as these guys. These two are the biggest I've got currently that I've grown out from juveniles, and I'm pretty impressed with their size and shape. These are those pigeon blood crosses. These were a cross between a red Rafflesia and a Penang eruption that I got from a breeder not too far from me. I believe he sourced his original fish from Kenny's discus. And that's a reputable name, you know, it's one of those breeders that are well known, that lots of people ooh and ah over. Now these are not Kenny's fish, obviously, but they're the spawn of 2 different types of fish that someone got from Kenny. And I have been noticing a little bit of aggression in this tank. These are 2 discus by themselves in a tank, which is not exactly the right way to do it, and not what discus experts might recommend. But it's what I have. They were a group of 4. I lost one, and the third, the last one that's left, is over there in that hospital tank, the one that's had that gill issue for quite some time. And that fish has been alone in a hospital tank for a while, so it's probably stressed out from a lack of socialization, as well as whatever the heck was affecting the gill issue that I've never been able to treat. But I love watching my discus. They're just so majestic. And I would love to order up a few more fish, a few more discus right now, but I've just been so busy lately. I don't want to take on any more responsibility down here in the fish room until I can get around to completing that project I've been talking about forever, wherein I'm going to expand and sort of rearrange everything, and most importantly, I'm going to automate some things. I'm going to drill all the tanks, get some overflows in them, and work on some type of an automatic water change system. Not completely sold yet on exactly what or how I'm going to make that happen. I speak often with Michael from Michael's Fish Room. I was talking about some options with him before he set up his auto water change system, and I'm sort of letting him be my guinea pig and test out some of the problems that I foresee in it. Not exactly sure if I'm creating a problem in my head or not, but there's a difference between doing a water change and watering down your tank, so to say. I think it's important to physically remove some water and add in fresh water rather than continually dripping in fresh water. Only time will tell if I am creating more work for myself that's unnecessary, or if that chooses to be proves to be a wise choice or not in the end. And my thought right now is potentially to drill 2 holes in each tank, one down way low, one up high for an overflow. The one down low will be a drain connected to a ball valve that'll be typically closed, and then every once in a while I can just open the valve, drain a good portion of the tank, and then refill it. And the remainder of the time will be an auto drip, where fresh water is continually dripping into the tank, and then that hole that I'm going to drill up high will act as an overflow. I don't know, if anybody's tried any of those types of systems, let me know. I think I just saw somebody on YouTube. I haven't seen the video yet. I think it was Steve Poland. I think, from the description of what I read, I think he used a combination of solenoids and switches and things like that, and pumps, which means he's probably doing something to remove water and then add in fresh water. So I got to check out what it was that he did and see if his system is something that I might want to try to mimic and steal some ideas from. I'll take a peek at that. You know what else I'm noticing? The larger of the 2 fish here right now, the one closest to us, the one that's being a little bit aggressive and chasing the other guy, he is really starting to get aggressive lately. I feel like his body is much more white than it used to be. It's far less orange and red coloration. Might just be the way I'm filming it and the lighting on the tank and everything like that. It's incredible how different a single fish can look under one light compared to another, or in one tank compared to another. That one down there has been getting bullied by the larger one. He's been trying to hang out in that back corner by himself a little bit. He's not showing any signs of illness or anything, but sooner or later I got to get these 2 fish moved. And I'll likely put them over in the 55-gallon tank where I got a few other discus right now. Let's see if we can't take a peek at the other 55-gallon tank. With some of the less than stellar red Turks I got down here. There's my old stunted guy. That, I believe, is one of the fish from my proven pair where I lost the mate a while back. Or possibly it's that one, I'm not even sure anymore. But I'm probably going to take those other 2 pigeon blood crosses and drop them over here into this tank one of these days. That's been a plan for quite a while. Let's see, what else has changed since I was last updating in the fish room? I know what else has changed, an equipment failure. I've got 2 sets of lights on this 72 bow front tank here. Oh, look at that, maybe it fixed itself. Son of a gun, it did. Problem solved. So I got a Phoenix Planted Plus. I'm zooming in on a Phoenix logo, it doesn't really show you that it's a Planted Plus. And this is a Current USA satellite in front here. Both decent LED lights. But the Current USA satellite has been known to have some issues. And keeping it over an open top tank is voiding the warranty. Because as much as you would like to think that a manufacturer who makes aquarium lights would expect that you might keep it near some water, Current USA voids the warranty if you keep it over an open top tank because the light is not waterproof. But what I was encountering the other day is I walked down and just the white lights in this, there's various colors right now, just the whites are on because of whatever I hit on the remote control. So I can't get it back to what I'm trying to do here. I don't know what the hell I am trying to do, so I guess I can't get it back. Is that better? Probably can't tell, but now the multiple colors are on. So it's various colored LEDs in there that create particular spectrums, and it comes with a remote control that I don't ever use, and fancy programs to do thunderstorms and stuff like that. Ooh, lightning. So it's a combination of different lights and different colors and things like that. But what happened when I got home the other day, the whites were flickering. It looked like it was doing the lightning effect even though it was in the regular mode. So I've had it off and set to just blue maybe for the past couple of days, and it looks like it fixed itself. So never mind. I was going to talk about how you can change the 12-volt power supply on these kind of things, and I wanted to see if that might help the problem. I didn't think it would since it was just one particular color, and chances are some water got up through the plastic cover and might have caused a bit of corrosion, but can't fix what's not broke, right? So I'm just gonna let well enough be. Then we got that rainbow fish fry that was down here, and the more I was studying him a little bit earlier today, I think it might be a dwarf neon rainbow, a Praecox rainbow. And I could have sworn I only had a couple of males in this tank, so that seems impossible. And now, of course, I don't see that juvenile fish, which tends to hang out up here in the weeds here and all the moneywort. Which, by the way, this is by no means a scape. I let some moneywort float in this tank a while back, along with an Amazon sword runner and another Amazon sword runner over here, and daughter plant, daughter plant, daughter plant, daughter plant. The runner has a runner. Daughter plant, daughter plant, daughter plant, another daughter plant. Some Java fern growing off itself and into itself and everything. And it's a complete and utter mess. I wouldn't even call it a jungle because everything's floating. Look at that. That one rainbow is still really bloated. Maybe she's gravid and full of eggs and hasn't dropped them. I don't know. Her scales aren't pine coning. I have no reason to think there's a disease infecting the tank or anything like that. But she's got a... I say she as if I know for sure. I don't have a freaking clue. I don't know if it comes up on camera. I need to see her head on instead of from that side profile view. See how big that belly is? And rainbow fish are relatively slender when you look at them head on. Sort of see the comparison to the other fish. That one's got a real big belly. But where is that juvenile rainbow fish? I just saw it down here within the past hour, probably even more recently than that. It was probably within the past 20 minutes. And I thought I'd noticed a little bit of color developing on one of its fins already, and it really reminded me of a dwarf praecox rainbow, a dwarf neon rainbow. Now, I could have sworn that this would be a male with the red finnage, and I have at least one other male over here, and I thought the females looked identical except they had yellowish-green finnage instead of red finnage. You can see on the dorsal fin and the tail fin and the anal fin that it's kind of red. And that little juvenile rainbow fish that's in here is starting to develop some red on its fins like that. Now, I'm amazed that the fish is already starting to show some color. I'm not exactly sure how old it is, but it's tiny. I mean, it can't be more than a few months old at the most. Again, because my stupid ass didn't even notice that there was fry in the tank. Well, that's a lie. I had noticed there was some fry in the tank a while back. Tiny little fry swimming around, and I was feeding some fry food to try to encourage their survival. And I hadn't given it a second thought because after a while I just stopped noticing the fry, and I figured it didn't work out right. I wasn't even sure what fish had spawned. And then lo and behold, if you watched my video last week, you might have seen there was a juvenile fish in there. But all the moneywort that I was talking about, all these floating plants and everything, it's an ideal spot for rainbow fish to breed. Rainbow fish are egg scatterers, and they tend to scatter eggs in floating plants. And that's just what they do. I know I've heard of people... Oh, I see the juvenile back there. I'm never going to be able to focus in on it. Ooh, where'd it go? Yeah, fishy, fishy. Ah, where'd you go? It was back there. I know I've heard of people, I think it might have actually been Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks. If he needs any more explanation, I'd be amazed. If you're watching my channel, you've probably seen his before. But I believe Dustin used to talk about some rainbow fish that he bred by accident, and he had moved a big mass of floating plants from one tank to another, or maybe to an outdoor pond or something like that, or maybe from an outdoor pond into a tank. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, he had some fry, and he had no idea there was even eggs in there. So what happened was the eggs that the fish laid in the floating plants got transferred to the new tank, and nature ran its course, and fish were born. But man, I can't find that juvenile guy anywhere. Oh well. What else? Everything else is just about the same in the fish room, except for over here in the Apistogramma Hongsloi tank. In the Apistogramma Hongsloi tank, we got a proud mama watching over a very small clutch of fry. She made her way out of the cave today. She's still bright yellow in her breeding colors, as is the other female in that cave. So it's possible I got two different spawns going on at once. The male doesn't seem to enjoy the company of either female, oddly enough. But that female, there's the male back there. Did I just miss him? Well, of course we're not going to focus on him. It's a beautiful fish, but it is not in the best tank in my fish room, and it is certainly not in the best position to be filmed. That's for damn sure. There's the second female. I mean, she's bright yellow. She's ready to breed, or is in the act of breeding. There's the male behind the airline tubings. And he gets spooked easily, so I'm trying not to move the airlines because that'll probably spook him. But if we come over here by this female and look down low, there's 2 or 3 fry near her by now. I had seen 1 or 2 stragglers over here earlier near the mouth of the cave. She's been in this cave here essentially since the day I got her. Now it's possible there's been multiple spawns that I haven't seen. The cave is so tiny, even with a flashlight, I can't get in there and look up at the roof to see if there's eggs or not. So I've just sort of been hands off the tank, been doing normal maintenance, water changes, feedings. And yesterday was the first time I noticed the female poke her head out of the cave, and there was a couple of minuscule fry swimming around her. And today she's got the fry out. It's a very small clutch. They just switched positions on me, didn't they? That's interesting. I wonder if she'll come over and protect her territory. Yep, she sure will. And where'd the fry go? But the fry don't seem to know to stay close to mom. And mom doesn't seem to know to go collect her fry either. But hopefully this is the first of many spawns out of these Apistogramma Hongsloi. She's kind of nicely chasing away that other female. Oh, there's the male again, and of course, whoa. There's a female beating up the male, it looked like. That was probably the mother. The mother probably does not want the father anywhere near the fry. She's probably afraid that he might gobble him up. Well, let's see, how many fry do we have there now? There's maybe 6 over there now. I mean, it's a small clutch for sure. But I gotta get a batch of baby brine going. I'm gonna drop in some Hikari first bites, which is a decent choice. If you don't have baby brine, there's lots of other better choices for fry. And speaking of breeding, I've got not much else breeding activity going on in the German blue ram tank over here. These guys were breeding pretty frequently when I first got them a couple of weeks ago. I had at least 1 or 2 different pairs spawning. It's interesting because German blue rams are supposed to be monogamous in the sense that they create a bonded pair between male and female and stay that way for life, supposedly. Now, I've heard some people negate that recently and say that in the wild there's really no evidence of that. Now, they definitely will pair up and stay together, even in a community tank, but, you know, if a mate dies, the other one might pick a new mate, and if one's unhappy with the other, they might switch mates as it is anyway. But in this tank, I got about 6 females and 2 males, and there was at least 2 or 3 different breeding sites actively happening at once, so it's possible that one male was breeding with more than one female. It's also possible a female laid eggs without a male ever fertilizing anything. But I haven't seen a pair form. You know, watching this tank, I wouldn't necessarily say, well, oh, those 2 fish have definitely paired up. I have seen that with rams. I know that is common for 2 fish to pair up and stay together. Like I was just about to say, there's a male and a female. There's the male right now, and the female just ran away, so she might not be part of him unless she maybe comes back to him quick. He's coming back in the general vicinity, chasing away that other one. And maybe those 2 are well, maybe not. But I've not seen any breeding activity from these guys recently. And the more and more I think about it, between my breeding problems with my discus and my breeding problems with my German blue rams, I really wonder if the fact that I don't store and age my water is one of my biggest downfalls. And hopefully going forward with that renovation I was talking about down here, hopefully I will have the ability to create some space and get some water storage going on. So that way I can store and age and aerate some water for at least 24 hours to use for water changes. And hopefully that stabilization of the pH and everything that'll occur from storing the water and aging it will really benefit my hopes and attempts at getting some more fish to breed. time will tell, right? We'll just have to wait and see if that actually happens. But anyway, guys, I gotta go start feeding the fish. Most of my cans are empty, which means I gotta go back into the warehouse section of the fish room and grab my big bags of flake food from Ken's Fish and things like that and fill up all my little cans like I did a couple of weeks ago on video. All those cans are now bone dry already. And they've gone through a lot of fish food when you have a lot of fish in your fish room. Speaking of, I was trying to order myself some food today. I'm almost out of the Australian freeze-dried blackworms. I'm also almost out of the Discus Gold bio pellets that I've been purchasing from Aquatic Suppliers. And Aquatic Suppliers apparently is all out of stock of those things. And I was hoping to find a new source for my freeze-dried blackworms. The reasoning is I don't know, my own to keep to myself for now, I suppose. There's really only one importer of Australian freeze-dried blackworms into America from Aquatic Suppliers, but you can buy from Australian blackworms directly. Shipping from Australia to America could take at least 3 weeks, and there's nothing to say that customs won't hold up the package. Nothing to say that customs won't deny the delivery and not let me keep it at all anyway. So I got to look into that a little bit. But then the other option is California blackworms. Now, for some reason, I've never purchased from California blackworms. I honestly have no idea why. They also sell live blackworms, and I would like to start dabbling with some live food in the fish room. I've never personally kept any live food cultures. I know you can do vinegar eels and vinegar worms, vinegar eels, micro worms. There's lots of different things that I don't really know all too much about. I know about live brine shrimp. That's about all I know for sure. So I wouldn't mind trying some live California blackworms. So I might place an order from them. But ordering from them is a big pain in the ass. I was emailing them today. You know, they have a website. You're supposed to fill out a form with credit card information and then call them or something. Or you can buy off eBay or Amazon. You know, and I emailed them and said I have multiple things I want to buy, but I don't want to have to do 16 different purchases from eBay. And in the end, I was told to put together a list of what I'm interested in, and then maybe they'll get back with a price or something. It's like trying to place an online order if it was 1997. I'm not sure why I can't just click and buy. It's a big pain in the ass. And there's not too many options for getting freeze-dried blackworms. There's even fewer options for getting live blackworms anywhere. So let me know if anybody else has a source for that. I'm interested in trying some of these other offerings that California Blackworm has, which includes a freeze-dried blackworm beef heart mix, freeze-dried beef heart, some blackworm pellets I think they had, and other things like that. And I might try that. But let me know if you know anything about live food cultures and what foods are suitable for what kind of fish, because I'm in the dark when it comes to that. I consider myself relatively knowledgeable about a lot of aspects of this hobby, but I'll be the first to admit there's a hell of a lot more to learn, and some of the information I have is definitely wrong. Other people might just have different beliefs about stuff, but when it comes to live foods, I really don't know much at all. So somebody educate me. Tell me what you know. Alright, I'm gonna go feed some fish, fill up some fish food cans, watch some rams battle it out over here for a little while first. Hopefully I can get to some water changes a little bit later, and before you know it, it'll be bedtime. And I'll have to wake up and go to work tomorrow. And then this weekend I get to work on the kitchen some more. Woohoo! Later guys, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.